Morning. It is a bright day, you guys. It's not a snow day, but it is.
It will be.
It will be. We are
going there.
We are. You better connect the dots. We are going to a bright day. Yes. Okay.
How about we run through Fuente Diaz?
That was my
You
question.
know what? We could definitely do that.
Oh, good job, good job.
Unison first time and parts on 2 and 3?
That. Yes, and we'll probably only do it 2 times because Woyaya, she's a big girl. So we'll just do Fuente de Amor. So unison and then parts. Second time. Okay.
And only in Spanish.
Yeah, we're only singing in Spanish.
You're so funny.
Do I sound funny? It's kind of
White guys
Yes,
speaking
please.
Spanish.
so like a, yes. Pues la pan,
What did we say?
Organization speaking Spanish.
Where was that at? That was just the last 3? There it is, last 4. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful. All right. Guys sound great? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A reminder, if you did not get your photo taken, please meet me at the tree.
The tree.
Now?
The tree.
Out there. Wait.
At like 11:15. We're doing, so I'm putting together a collage like of our musicians for this year. At the start of the year, and we'll probably put it into just kind of like see how the
Pepper tree right in front of the office.
Yeah,
Okay.
the big tree.
Over there.
Listen, every time I come in, I flip.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that
I
straight.
get it.
Yeah.
You can see it right there.
That, right, exactly.
Yeah, it's big.
The tree. That one.
Okay, the one that we see, the point.
Only not there, down at the bottom.
Correct.
Yes, we are not tree climbing.
Don't try.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll see you guys in your seats by 5 till.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah.
Sorry, I'm late.
No worries.
I will leave here.
Having our pictures.
All those dotted quarter notes.
And I don't-
Quarter rest are
I want to ask, this is quarter notes, is it like turn or whatever? It's like a
quarter rest, yeah. Full rest.
Otherwise, I want the
Quarter
quarter
notes and
notes.
quarter rest. Yeah, all those places.
7.5 now.
You know, I don't have to put
And
like
she's
separate.
directing it that way, so it's, pretty easy to follow. But yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
as I mentioned, it's gonna be a little impromptu, so I'll probably start singing on the second time around. Yeah. So I should probably be like in view. I don't know, where am I sitting up here today? Am I sitting up here? I feel like choir days. Yeah, but I feel like choir days is like a lot of crossing.
Sit on top of the piano.
Hello and good morning. We're now at the piano bar lounge.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Long Beach. How's everybody doing? You okay? So? Everyone feels like it's just taken a little extra effort to get here today. To be here. It's the first day of fall. It's a little gloomy, so we're just going to let everybody kind of filter in. We're going to warm up our energy with some singing, and we're so glad to be together. So welcome, welcome. We have a little bit of a different setup today, so you'll see some of our members on the chancel with me, and of course, Jyvonne Haskin. We're so glad to have you helping us as our interim director of music. Welcome to Jonathan Strand on our keys this morning, and our choir. And if you are interested in doing some music making this fall, stop by after the service and chat with Jyvonne. I know we have some other musicians out there who might like to get involved, so now is a great time to share your voice. My name is Reverend Lissa, and I'm grateful to be here with you, your settled minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Long Beach. We welcome into our community this morning all of our visitors and our guests and our newcomers. Welcome to you, everyone who is finding your place and needing a little support to find your place. So we have a membership committee here, grateful to help you to get connected here. Stop by the membership table after the service if you'd like to chat a little bit more about what's happening here at the church. And if you are visiting today, whether this is your first time or you've been coming a few times, we're glad to have you and look forward to getting to know you a little bit more. Our programs for children and youth are taking place in our building across from the sanctuary today. So if you do have children and youth and would like them to participate, please feel free to go and visit Amy and to get them connected and registered. And of course, youth and children are welcome to worship together with families here in the sanctuary as well. Okay, please note we have a fragrance-free section behind Carol. Carol, raise your hand. There's a few fragrance-free seats if you'd like to have that area be inclusive for you. And we also have seating outside. Welcome to everybody joining outside. And online, welcome to everybody joining us online on Zoom and on YouTube. There are lots of different ways to stay connected here. Let's just take a minute to greet one another. You're welcome to stay seated and simply offer a wave or get up and move around. Let us greet one another. Okay. All right. Let's make our way to our seats, everyone. It is good to be together. So after the service, if you are watching online, you might be wondering, if you are watching online or if you plan to, how does the coffee hour work now that we're on YouTube and Zoom? Well, our Zoom service will continue into the Zoom coffee hour. So if you are joining on Zoom, just continue on to coffee hour as usual. And if you're joining on YouTube, either now or in the future, switch on over to Zoom to connect with more members and say hello. For all of us here on site, please join us for coffee and conversation on the patio. I'm not sure what's available in the garden today because it is resting. It is resting to prepare for the winter planting. Shouldn't we all be doing that? Yes. Yes. Saving Democracy team here at UUCLB was formed in the fall of 2023 to start organizing for the presidential election. And boy, are we doing that. How many people have been involved in organizing efforts here at the church? Yes. Writing letters, doing a voter registration drive last week, and also being a part of the LA Voice Faith Votes campaign. So a lot of people filled out those pledge to vote cards. We pledged to vote to get 800 people motivated to the election. So if you are here today, stop by the table outside, the Saving Democracy table, and continue on with that Faith Votes campaign. I've got a message from Lorraine about what's happening today. I'm sure it's involving yes, let's help Arizonans get registered today. So they are writing in the Chalice building after church and perhaps a break for coffee. Perhaps. You'll write a short message on the pre-printed letters and add some creative touches like we do in postcard writing. And it's fun to join, and a fellowship activity too. And we've been getting quite a few newcomers to the congregation that way. Lorraine, raise your hand if you are here. Yes, she's got her democracy hat on, so can't miss her. Okay, we got a salsa announcement. Would you like to do that? All right.
Good morning. I'm Maria Hansen, and I'm part of the BIPOC group, which is by Black, Indigenous, People of Color, and anybody else that looks kind of weird. They belong there. Anyway, just a joke. We're going to have a salsa night, which would be a dance. In case you don't know, salsa means sauce in Spanish, but it's also the name of a dance. And it'll be this Friday, the September 27th, from 6 to 9 p.m. right here. We don't have no admission fee. But if you have a donation, we'd like to have a donation. If it's a person, it's $10. If it's a family, it's $20. It's a donation. Bring your children, your youth, your teenagers. This is dancing for everyone. We're going to have a wristband protocol. That means the children will have a special wristband, and that tells them who they can dance with. So they can dance with their family, or if they're beginning dancer as adults, then they can dance with people that are teaching dancing. So, that kind of protects the children. We have a great DJ. We hired somebody that's really good, also a dance instructor. And we have a volunteer, Jimmy Bricks. Is he here today? Stand up, boy. That guy's going to be at a salsa table outside, and we need people to volunteer because we need people to help us. So if you're inclined to help, we would love to have you do that. Let's see. Go see Jimmy at the salsa table after the service. Anyway, even if you don't dance, you just want to bring your family and have fellowship with other church members, you're welcome to do that. We'll have tables. We'll have 2 food trucks. One I can attest is a taco truck. Delicious tacos, $3 each. Couldn't believe it. You know, that price, that taste, it was out of this world. So I would suggest come with a cash, because taco trucks don't take cards. So it's cash, American money, okay? Just in case. Okay, so that'll be 2 food trucks out there. One taco and the other one just junk food and ice cream. Okay. The food is tasty anyway, so we promise a fun event. So we welcome everybody to come and bring your friends, relatives, neighbors, so on and so forth.
Hi, I'm Lissa Moore, and I want to talk to you about the Vision and Mission Workshop next weekend. Let's get excited about it. We invite you to attend. It's next Saturday, 9/28, here in Wilder Hall from 1 to 4 p.m. And childcare will be provided. Please stop by the table outside to indicate your intentions about coming and if you will need childcare. And a reminder that our consultant would like you to fill out a brief survey, and it is brief because I did it, so that they can get to know us better. If you have not done the survey yet, it will be sent in the weekly e-blast. Please fill it out prior to Friday evening, okay? So hope to see everybody there.
All right, thank you. So today is the first day of fall. It's the autumnal equinox, and we're celebrating here the harvest and the balance between the seasons. This is the tip when the days start to get shorter, right between the summer solstice and the winter solstice. So this is a time when the sun is resting above the equator. Night and day are divided equally, and it's a season filled with change. It celebrates the harvest, and it ushers in the beauty of rest and decay and rebirth. So I want to just invite everybody to take a deep breath as we're coming into our service today. And I have these chalice lighting words for us by the mystical author Christine Walters Paintner. She's talking about the gifts of this season. Autumn is a season of transition, of continual movement. At the heart of autumn's gifts are these twin energies of relinquishing and harvesting. It's this paradox that invites us to consider what we are called to release and surrender, and at the same time invites us to gather in, to name and celebrate the seeds of the fruits that we planted months ago. And in holding these two tensions, we are invited to understand how in letting go, we find abundance. So today we light our chalice flame, as we do every Sunday, to celebrate that gathering up, the taking stock, the celebration of all that the fruits that we have planted, and we also remember all of the members and friends who have helped to harvest what we are harvesting today, those who have gone by, whose memories we bring into this sacred space. And we will do that by speaking the words together of our mission, which is printed in your order of service. And Lissa is going to help us to read that together.
So as you can see, we affirmed this mission in 2014, so it's time to do it again. Okay, let's start. We, the congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Long Beach, affirm our mission to create a welcoming and diverse community rooted in love, trust, and freedom, to lead by creating a multicultural, anti-racist, anti-oppressive congregation and denomination, to take these ideals to the wider community in action and service, to share our values with the next generation empower them to create a better world, to inspire and encourage each other in our spiritual journeys.
Okay.
Good morning. For our first hymn, we are going to be singing hymn number 31 from the purple hymnal. Did you guys all know that we had a purple hymnal? It is called Las Voces del Camino, and it is the complement, the Spanish complement to our gray hymnals. And it was commissioned by the church in San Jose, which we have a very direct connection as of recent, several years ago, and they put this together. So some of the Spanish songs that, the hymns that we've sung last service, and I know that this church, you guys are not new to this hymn, correct? Fuente de Amor, which is Spirit of Life, out of the gray hymnal. So if you'll rise in body or in spirit with me as we sing this hymn together. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón, cántale tu compasión, sopla volar, sube la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Alágame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón, cántale tu compasión, sopla volar, sube la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Alágame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
Our reading this morning is called Choose to Bless This World by the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker. We'll be having a time of kind of extended meditation today, so I invite you to just take a deep breath. You can put your programs aside for the moment. There will be no lyrical challenges or things to recite or read, just time to deepen your practice of being present, of being mindful, of being here together in this beloved community. And let's just take a few centering breaths. Gathering up all of the energies of the day, of the week, and bringing them in and centering. Once again, let's take one more deep breath together. Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting, Any of these gifts can be serving to feed the hungry, to bind up wounds, to welcome the stranger, to praise what is sacred and do the work of justice. Any of these gifts, too, can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, be complicit with injustice, or withhold our love. Each of us must answer the question, what will I do with my gifts? Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with an intention to be good. It is an act of recognition, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting. Now let us go a little bit deeper into our time of meditation. I invite you to reflect on your own weeks gone by, your own hours of work, care, and play. All of the cares, the worries, the pleasure, and the joy, too. I invite you to reflect on all you have done this week and left undone, and to take a deep breath and let it all go. This is your invitation to come back to your own center, your own gifts, your sense of purpose. This is your invitation to let go of any judgments you are carrying this morning about yourself or another. To let go and seek a deeper joy this morning. To forgive yourself. And to remember you are loved just as you are. This is the equinox, a time when we balance day and night. And I invite you to tend your own ecosystem. Time to reset and balance, caring for yourself and others, caring for your own needs and the needs of others, of doing and being. That paradox of how we gather in and we let go. Let's take one more deep breath together as we sink a little deeper into this time to offer some space for ourselves and to come together as a community for the grief and the lament that we need to do collectively and together each week. The losses, great and small, that each of us have in our own lives and the depths of the world's suffering. And I invite you to bring the warmth of comfort and gentleness to yourself for this work of healing the tender and painful places. Into this space, too, we reflect together on all of the troubling violence in our world, and we pray for peace in our community, in our country, and in our world. And we lament the escalation of violence between Lebanon and Israel, the hundreds injured and killed by coordinated attacks, which bring questions about technology and fears for the expansion of war. We bring that energy of prayer for peace to the devastation in Gaza. And as we come up on the anniversary of October 7th, we hold in our hearts the complexity, and we pray for our interfaith communities that we may stay in solidarity and we may stay unified, holding at the center a love that holds all and prays for peace. During this election season, there is much hope and there is much anxiety, and we call upon each other to bring forth strength and resiliency, to bring our efforts to defend democracy. And we are holding in our thoughts today immigrant and refugee communities all over our country, here in Long Beach, and in particular the Haitian community of Springfield, Illinois, who has been targeted by lies meant to promote hatred, division, and fear, but have real impacts on people's lives and homes. And we pray for their safety. And finally, we hold in our hearts today the news of yet another mass shooting in Birmingham, Alabama, with details yet to emerge, but we know some of the details already, and we hold that same feeling of rage and sadness that a public place would be terrorized with gun violence, senseless, and the devastation of lives. Finally, we gather in all of our energy centered back in this turning of the seasons and the return to the groundedness we feel as we acknowledge those equinoxes and the groundedness we feel in our connection to the earth. And as fires still continue to rage in California, we give thanks for the rains which have ceased some of the fires, which have hemmed them in, which continue to preserve life and land and property. And we offer gratitude for that balance to be restored. So let us now enter into a brief time of silence to hold each of the joys and the sorrows that we are bringing. And perhaps placing a hand on your heart or opening your hands in a gesture to receive. Let us take a moment in this silence to be held in the loving energy of this caring community. moving from our own time of meditation into our community time, I invite any brief sharing from the congregation today. And if you did speak last time, I invite you to let another person speak so that we can hear the full joys and sorrows of our congregation. I invite whoever would like to speak to come forward.
Hi, my name is Michael Solwasser. Some of you know I did speak last week, but I wanted to bring some news. Some of you noticed that Maureen wasn't here. That's because Maureen is at Long Beach Memorial Hospital. We went yesterday evening, and she was admitted at 5:30 this morning. I had already left and gone home. She has unexplained vertigo, which the dizziness, she's still dizzy. They've run a number of tests, and nothing has come back as to explain, what's going on. And the doctor is going to come sometime today to meet with her. I suspect she may be asleep right now because she was still awake at 2 when I left last night, and she texted me while I was asleep at 5:30 and 6:30. So I'll be going from church over to the hospital, and hopefully we'll hear from the doctor. And hopefully we'll still be able to be on a plane tomorrow night to Spain.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Misako. I would like to express a joy. First of all, joy, and I just noticed the adornments on our walls, which is amazing. But also, I don't see her right now, but I wanted to just give a shout out to Lorraine Neal, because if I didn't know better, I would think that she's almost single-handedly defending democracy. She's working so hard, and she inspires me. And she inspires me to remember that in this season of activism, and also my fellow BIPOCs, the weird-looking people, that the season of activism never ends.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Fred Kushner. I have a joy. I just started working as a canvasser for Proposition Measure A, Prop 5 in Long Beach, and I'm looking forward to my first paycheck. I also have a sadness for shallow people like me. The tragedy of the White Sox losing almost 100,000 games, and the Dodgers got our best pitcher. I have to handle that.
Hi, I'm Karen Morikas. It's both a joy and a sorrow or concern. The concern is, if any of you are familiar with Boeing, the union is on strike. The joy is that I no longer work for Boeing, so that's good. But I still have a lot of friends who work there, and so many of them are now being affected by being furloughed 1 week a month while the strike goes on. So my concern is that I hope this strike ends soon and that the two sides can come together, because it sounds like some people are just sitting back with their arms crossed, refusing to negotiate, and I really hope that they can get beyond that.
Hello, my name's Michelle Reed. We have several joys. One is we got a new cat named Susan. Then Abby has an interview on Tuesday. And then the last one is we're thinking of starting an LLC for my embalming. So any advice would help.
Hi, I'm Alicia Moore. And I have a combination joy and sorrow. Our daughter, Connie, who grew up in this church, has moved to Arizona. That's my personal sorrow. But my joy, oh my God. My joy is that she has discovered her purpose And she's very happy being an in-home nanny for 3 boys on the autism spectrum. And she loves her work, and I'm thrilled for that, but I miss her dreadfully. And I know my husband, Robert, also does. So.
Hi, my name's Eric. So I have a couple personal joys to share. Or just, yeah. Yeah, well, I have a different joy to share, actually. Yeah, since I've already shared the one about San Diego. Yeah, my different joy to share right now is that last night I baked my first loaf. I baked a fresh loaf of yummy chocolate chip pumpkin bread.
That's great. None for me?
My name is Miles, and I kind of have like a combo one. So about a month into moving down to Long Beach, both of my parents lost their jobs. And it was really scary. Like as soon as I got the news, I like dropped everything and then immediately like booked a train ride up. But they've actually both since then started their jobs. They're getting consistent work. It's like I try calling them and they're like, yeah, I'm at work. And I'm like, thank goodness. Oh my God. So yeah, a little joy that came from sorrow.
Hello. Hi, folks. My name is Elaine. I use they, them pronouns, and I teach at Cal State Long Beach. So the day job is I teach chemistry, but also outside of that and outside of this church is I'm on the faculty union for my chapter, as well as the statewide board of directors for the faculty union, California Faculty Association. So I guess this is like a sorrow and joy where, just to keep it really, really short, there's a lot of freedom of speech, academic freedom, just things that are just coming down from like statewide down. ACLU has actually just written a letter to Cal State Long Beach as far as faculty having their freedom of speech and academic freedom impinged on. And all I gotta say is, we can talk after church, all I gotta say is that as a union, we are very busy trying to protect the freedom of speech for faculty and students everywhere, and their right to activism and right to protest. So the joy is, I guess, this is call to action, right in your own backyard, folks, Cal State Long Beach, and other CSUs as far as a call to action. Thank you.
I have a personal joy to share. I've got back one of my original caregivers that Kaiser has okayed. She's from Mima, and I love her so much. And the other joy is that I've got another caregiver for 15 hours a week who has been set up with IHSS, and I am so grateful.
Good, Bonnie. Anybody outside want to speak? Okay. All right, we're going to move into our time of the offering, and it's another time where we think about the gifts that we can offer, the gifts that we bring to this congregation with our resources, with our time, with our energy, with our joy, with our support. So as the plates go by, please do reflect on all of the gifts that you bring and the church brings to your life. Our offering will now be gratefully received.
Sarah, could you move to your left?
Bright morning star arising, bright morning star arising,
Okay, I'm going to invite Elmer and Michael and Alicia to come up. Welcome, welcome. All right. So nice to have you up here. Feels so good to be together up here to reflect a little bit about our mission. So in preparing for this service, I reached out to a number of past presidents of the congregation who have been involved with leadership here a long time, and particularly who are involved in the creation of the mission statement in 2004 and reaffirming that in 2014. So I'm grateful that these brave souls have agreed to join me on the chancel to share a little bit about the mission then and now. So would you please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about how long you've been members and your leadership in the church?
Okay. Well, I'm Elmer Taylor, and I've been a member since 1996. And when I got here in 1995, became a member in 96. When I got here, I was not a leader. I did not consider myself a leader. But somewhere along the line, the director of religious education back then said, we could use some help for the summer program. So I said, okay, I can do that. And a while later, then there was an opening on the religious education committee. So I said, I can do that. And the story kind of goes like that. There's an opening, I can do that. And after a while, I ended up on the communications committee. And I can do that up to the point where I became chair of the communications committee. And I wasn't a leader, but I mean, I could be a chair, I can do that. And the same thing sort of happened with several other committees. And at some point in time along the line, I joined the board of the church and ended up being president. So I guess I could be some sort of leader.
I'm Michael Solwasser. I joined the church in 1987, and I attended one of the church council meetings, and someone, I don't know, asked me if I would be take over chair of the council, and it's like I hadn't hardly been here maybe a year. I ended up serving in that role in a number of other roles. I was president of the congregation twice. The second time I was only planning on doing it 1 year, which is typical, and the person who was vice president moved out to Palm Springs, so I was president 2 years in a row. And I've also served beyond our congregation at the district and the denominational level. So I do consider myself a leader, but I see leadership as something that's shared, and that my job as a leader isn't to tell other people what to do, it's to inspire other people to action.
I'm Alicia Moore, and I've been here at this congregation since the early 2000s, and I have a similar story of leadership here. I was asked to be on the RE committee, and then from there became chair of the RE committee, and eventually served on several committees and the board. I've been board president twice. And Michael, I was remembering, convinced me that I could serve beyond our congregation, so I was on the district board for a while. And it was, all growth. And I think one of the things that I really value about leadership here is it's grown, it's developed. I think, we all have a kernel of something to share, and we want to nurture that. And I feel we do a pretty good job of doing that here. So thank you.
So I'm going to grab this mic so that you can pass this around over here, and we can pass this around over here. So I want to go way back for a second, because I don't know if everyone, especially our newcomers, know about how this church was founded and when. So the original church was gathered in 1913, in April of 1913, as the first Unitarian Church of Long Beach. And it had the following mission statement, shall we say, or bond of union, which, see how this sounds to your ears today. The religion of this church is free, not creed-bound, scientific, not dogmatic, spiritual, not traditional, universal, not sectarian. It stands for the realization of the highest moral and humanitarian ideals of the world's noblest teachers and the cultivation and dissemination of the spiritual qualities of reverence, peace, and love as exemplified in the life of Jesus of Nazareth. Whoa! Yes. So I don't have actually the fact about when JC dropped out of our bond of union and mission statement, but I thought it was kind of interesting to kind of go way back. And the congregation first rented space at, get this, the Odd Fellows Hall at the corner of Broadway. What? It's still there. The Odd Fellows Hall is still there on the corner of Broadway and Long Beach Boulevard. And 2 years later, the congregation built a small chapel in 1915 on the corner of 9th Street and Lime Avenue. And as the congregation grew and outgrew that building, they sold that property to a Baptist congregation and moved to this location in 1956. And there were some crossover years as the church was being built here. And this was a property that was deeded by the Whaley family. And I assume that means gifted. Interesting. And the congregation grew very quickly over those years. We have some people who were a part of the congregation at that time, the Goodwin family. Yeah, so curious about what that was like. And over the congregational lifetime, there have been many times when the congregation has paused to do some more big picture thinking, some strategy thinking about who we are, who we want to be, and how we want our congregation and our facilities and our community to be. So some of those planning processes have produced some plant upgrades or facilities upgrades, like the parking lot and the playground, which was a really big deal. And our children and youth love it, and that is our gathering place for families, which I think that was a part of the process planning, right? That we wanted to invest in a place that children and youth and families could be. And some of those planning processes didn't yield what we had hoped. Like in 2008, there was a whole big strategic plan that produced another plan to build a sanctuary over in the playground area by the preschool. And that this was then going to be the fellowship hall. So that's a whole story unto itself, right? But periodically, there have been these times when the congregation has come together to plan, both to center in who we are as a congregation, the mission, and then what we are called to do through that mission. So 20 years ago, this congregation was a little bit different than it is today, but some of the core values are carried forth, right? The mission is something that really affirms the congregation's core purpose. Mission statements are ways that congregations express their timeless values and carry them forward from generation to generation. So a few things have happened in those 20 years, and I want to bring us back to the year 2004, when this mission was created. The Reverend Marguerite Lovett was the minister here, and she enjoyed a long tenure as minister from 1991, and she would retire from the congregation in 2009. George Bush had just been elected for the second term as president, and that year featured, I don't know, just a fun fact, not one but two solar eclipses. And of course, the catastrophic disaster of Hurricane Katrina. And in that year, too, a 20-something-year-old seminarian began at Meadville Lombard Seminary in Chicago. That was me 20 years ago on my journey towards ministry. So everyone's collective memory together sort of creates the story, right? There's no one story. So that's why we have several voices, and that's why we are inviting you to come and join us on Saturday to share your voice. So Michael, Elmer, and Alicia, tell me a little bit about the congregation at that time in 2004. What was important to the church at the time, and what were some of the forces or dynamics coming together, both to say now's the time for the mission statement and what the mission statement then ultimately became?
Okay, so one of the, like I say, I've been a member since the 90s. One of the things I've been involved in since the 90s is as anti-racism, and this congregation has really kind of stepped up with that. As a member of different groups during that time, we wanted to get the congregation to the same level of understanding about what racism is and how to go about combating it and things. And there's this thing called the continuum for becoming anti-racist, or I don't remember the exact word for it, but it's a continuum, and we are between stages 3 and 4. Stage 3 is that we are symbolic. We say we want to be anti-racist. Stage 4 is we're actually taking action to be there. One of the things that happens in stage 3 is you need to have a mission statement saying where you plan to go. So that's where we were in 2004.
So the congregation had gone through a process of thinking about what we wanted what our vision was and what we wanted our mission to be. And we were already to this stage where Mary Lou Reed Quinn, who some of you know of, was responsible for wordsmithing, coming up with the final language based on everything that had been said. At the same time, Elmer and I and a few other folks were on the anti-racism transformation team, and we were meeting, and I can remember this, out on the lawn with Bill Gardner from the UUA, and we talked about the fact that we had this mission statement and that we really wanted to have something about that this was happening. And we felt like, we had missed our opportunity. And Bill Gardner kind of looked at us and it's like, I don't think so. It's not done yet. And the third the second statement of our mission statement is to lead by creating a multicultural, anti-racist, anti-oppressive congregation and denomination. That was the language that the anti-racism team came up with. And we put forward rather boldly that would be the mission, that single statement. The congregation wasn't prepared for that and didn't want to do that, but that kind of language was not anywhere in the statement, and that was folded in. I think, and it wasn't a case of where the congregation was adverse to it. It just had not had that inspiration to think of that, to put that in until the anti-racism transformation team brought that forward, because we had a history in this congregation of doing anti-racism work. Actually, we were only one of 6 anti-racism transformation teams out of the 1,000 congregations in the UUA at the time. So we do have a leadership role, and that's why we chose that word, to lead.
One of the first trainings that I attended, and I was encouraged to attend by by people on the board and people in the congregation, was a training by the ARTT, and I didn't want to go. I didn't. I thought we were already there, and why are we even talking about this? Because we've done the work. We didn't really need to do this, and I was prepared to sit and be bored. And I was not. I learned a lot. And I think that part of who we are as a congregation is people who are willing to learn. And honestly, at that first training, I was not willing to learn. I was going to listen and go, yeah. But I did learn, and I learned that we are not there. We were not there, and it's our aspiration to be there and to continually grow in this way. And I think that's one of the things in our mission statement that really now speaks to me when I hear it. And I can remember a congregational meeting about this mission statement where the language of that was hotly debated because it was negative, anti-racist. We want to be positive. Do you guys remember that? We want to say positive things. And there was a lot of argument before we finally settled on this. And that's kind of who we are too. Wordsmithing is kind of in our blood. And I think that is important, to really think about who we are. And we're not all in the same place, but we're growing. And I think that's an important piece of where we need to go.
Thank you. So what were some memorable moments over these past 20 years where you as leaders saw the church really living into our mission, whether it's around this particular element to lead in creating an anti-racist, multicultural congregation, denomination, community, or one of the other elements of the mission, which are, just as important to the whole?
Okay, so one of the things in the mission statement is about empowering our youth to carry our mission forward. And the one thing that comes to mind was last week in the slideshow, there was a slideshow of us, we were protesting on Prop 8, and there I was in the picture. Also in the picture were a bunch of our youth. I mean, we were just teaching them that, yes, this is the way you go about doing things. So we were kind of fulfilling our mission at that time.
So I would encourage people, if you want to dive deeper, because our history of doing anti-racism, anti-oppression work predates this mission statement, and it follows after it. On the church's website, under the ACT heading, which is where social justice is, you can find the anti-racism, anti-oppression history, and it is rich. I am proud of the example we set. I think we are, having served at the national level, I'm aware of what other congregations are doing in this space. And we are definitely leaders. And the goalpost keeps moving too. Elmer talked about that continuum of, I think it was a 4-point continuum, and we saw ourselves in between 3 and 4. If you look at that, there's a continuum today from 1 to 4, but it's what 3 or 4 then would be between 2, would probably be a 2 now. So, and we continue to move. We continue to be at that cutting edge. This thing about, a story occurred to me about being a welcoming and diverse community, welcoming and inclusive. And I shared with Lissa the story about, we have the gender inclusive bathrooms. And I remember when we were going to make that step, and someone said, why do we need to do that? We don't have any transgender folks, gender fluid people who might need that, or very few. And I said, that wasn't the point. People, as a friend of mine who worked was a disability activist, used to say, people don't go to museums to use the restrooms. But the restrooms make it possible for them to go to the museum because they are accessible to people with disabilities. The same way you have a restroom for people who are gender fluid and don't align with male or female, that they have a place to go. But even more important to that, it's a signal to the rest of us who we are. It says something about, and it says something to visitors who are not, who do identify as male or female, but feel there should be a place for people who don't, that this is the church, that's important to them. And when they come and they see that sign, that tells them who we are. That's part of fulfilling our mission.
I remember doing a lot of work around welcoming and trying to figure out who we wanted to welcome into our space. And I think that one of the things that really struck me in that, it's that we're not picking and choosing who's coming. We're trying to be open so that people who do come feel welcome. That's our goal. That's our part, is not saying we want you, we don't want you. This is the space where you can come and feel welcome, and we want you to feel welcome. We learned about radical hospitality, and that still resonates for me. You know, how do we welcome the stranger? How do we do that? And it's part of our mission statement, but I think we still are learning how to do that. So, yeah.
Thank you. So our mission is always something that's aspirational, that we're living into. And it's kind of interesting that this is not a vision statement. It is a mission. And yet we are doing now a process that will involve that visioning. And a vision is something that's actually more kind of shorter term. It's like 3 or 5 years. So it sets forth a course for how we will interpret the mission. So kind of closing up here, because we are running low on time and we want to go get our kids and everything else and sing Wa Ya Ya. I really want to sing it. What are some of those core values that we want to bring into the future here? And what are some things that you hope we can accomplish in the next 3 to 5 years that may be unfinished business from this mission that we want to maybe carry forward, or something new that we want to work on that's really calling us from our past to step into a leadership role in the future?
One of the things that somewhere back in the past, when we were looking at expanding the campus and things like that, we did some kind of studies of who the congregation is. And it kind of surprised me that over a short period of time, like it was either 3 years or 5 years, almost a third of the congregation turns over. People left because of leaving the area or for other reasons, and more people came. So if you give it 10 years, we have almost a whole new congregation. So you're not the same congregation that was here in 2004. We need to have a mission. I mean, the mission and vision needs to be our mission and vision. It's something that I just realized this morning. When we talk about mission and vision, we're talking in the first and third person at the same time. We are us, and we as us need a mission statement and vision statement that is ours today.
I think for me, and I'm not sure if it splits along the lines of vision and mission, but I think for me the two parts are, what are our core values and how do we carry them out into the world? Those of you who've gotten emails from me know I always, anything that has something to do with the church, I always sign them up, living my faith. Right? It's about what I want to make sure is that I live my values every day of my life. And that I want, those values are very personal, but they're very much grounded in this community. This community is constantly challenging my values, and it's also telling me how to live out those values. What actions best align with my values? So I want us to be mindful of what our values are, what's important to us, but also be mindful of the most effective way to carry that out as a community and as individuals.
I think the most important piece for me is hearing from everyone. Our vision and mission needs to come from all of us. It's why you're invited on Saturday. It's what we need to do to make this our communal sort of idea. It's not the board's idea. It's not our consultant's idea. And it really needs to come from everyone. I feel like that is our strength when we can come together, hear different voices, listen to one another, argue, and still come together. And that is, I think, where we can be most effective when we come together.
Thank you. Let's give our panelists a round of applause. So I so appreciated hearing your voices. There's so much more to say. I'm like, I just want to lean into this. Don't you? I want to hear more. And if you want to hear more too, please join us on Saturday and any of the meetings that will be upcoming. This is not the only opportunity. And what better way to end our service today with this song that we are going somewhere together. We don't know quite where.
That's right.
But we know we will.
Yes. Please,
Amen.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing hymn 1020, The Charge of Woyaya.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know we're in, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, but the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know it then. And we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, 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 oh yeah, 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 oh yeah, 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 oh yeah, 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 yeah.
These closing words are from the Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman, who says, I will sing a new song. As difficult as it might be, I must learn the new song that is capable of meeting the new need. I must fashion new words born of all the growth of my life, my mind and my spirit. I must prepare for new melodies that have never been mine before. That all that is within me may lift my voice into the world. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of commitment, more the love of the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Amen.